Decisive evidence. I wish this episode didn't exist. This additional episode they added to the game really ruins everything. This is so bad. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence, that's what you're doing. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This when the suspect is admitting she did it. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, mister. Let's just get this over with. I'm just gonna save the game before I do anything else. I don't trust the game. I don't trust the game, I don't trust the game developers or the writers. And now to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. So stupid. White enamel shoe. Who's... Oh, wait a minute. There's blood on top and blood on the bottom. This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. Ah, there's blood here too! On the sole of the shoe. It's got to be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood. It's horrible! This blood might be an important clue. Why would that be on the bottom of the shoe? Wouldn't he bleed from the top? Anyway, back. And also, there were not any bloody footprints. 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was of course the victim's. Hold on. Photo. There's no blood on the floor here. The shoe is the victim's, it's not hers. She's wearing black shoes. But there's no blood on the floor here. And there's apparently blood all over her jacket, if that is blood. So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie. Huh. Well, speak up! Well... Blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. Well, if it's today, they'd do a DNA test on it. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Yeah, we can. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies. Okay. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts. Peppered fish guts. Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in hot enough water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? Is there? Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There's a problem! If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? You need to stop with the lunches. It's boring now. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. It's okay, look. Okay, look. This is the right shoe. It fits on the right foot. He was stabbed by the right hand of Lana, so he was stabbed on his left side. Why would the blood be on the right side of the bottom of the shoe if he was stabbed on the left side of his body? Anyway, let me just like click there. I wonder if you noticed there's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Is that a threat? Indeed there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? What could be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? There's no blood in the photo, I think, is what the game wants me to say. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found at the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order! Well, witness. Nani? Aye. Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh. That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint, because he wasn't killed in the car park. Think, Mr. Wright, think! Hey, I don't know why there's... No, it's because he wasn't killed in the car park. He was killed somewhere else, brought there. In the trunk of the car. I'm just good at finding contradictions. Nani? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. You were. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside and kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman, rah. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. How do you kick over a full oil drum? Are you high? Also, why didn't you say it? Why did you have had Edgeworth say it? Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Wag! That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. I don't know if you realize how heavy a full oil drum is. That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please! Nani, what can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... enough! There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor... This is so stupid. The testimony is full of holes. You can't convict based on that. This story is so bad. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Hold it! This forced drama. Forced drama. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Yes. Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well. I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Another lunchbox, a lunchbox called evidence. Wait! Witness, don't tell me you have something else. Why would... I object. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you'll be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this! Just adding new stuff. A photograph! I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. This is bad storytelling. Look, I'm gonna just take a break here. Look, good storytelling is you tell the story, it makes sense, but there are clues in there that the audience doesn't quite notice. Then you hit the plot twist, and then the plot twist, after the plot twist reveals the truth, you go back and you find all the clues and you realize the clues were there all along. That's a good plot twist, right? So the example I always give is BioShock. BioShock, like throughout the game, what's his name? Atlas says, "Would you kindly do this? Would you kindly do that?" And you're like, okay, I mean, that's just his catchphrase, I guess. And then the plot twist is, "Would you kindly" is a mind control phrase. He's using that to control you, to make you do his bidding. And you look back at the game and it's like, oh my god, he said, "Would you kindly" every time he told me to kill someone. And so like the plot twist adds a new meaning to all the clues that you've already seen in the story. That's a good plot twist. This is not a good plot twist. A bad plot twist is you tell a story and then you just add new stuff. Aha! New stuff! And you're like, okay, new stuff. And then you're, aha! More new stuff. But the new stuff is stuff you've never seen before. And so you don't go back and say, oh, it all makes sense now. No, none of this makes sense. You just like add more and more stuff that don't make sense. That's bad storytelling. Alright? Alright, good. I'm glad I criticized the storytelling here. That the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. you just making stuff up. You're just adding more and more stuff as you go. This is awful storytelling. Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. There's something in the muffler of the car, and it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. ... Can I look at that photo? I don't even have that photo, alright. ... I'm sorry, Mia. ... Fake drama. Right, wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. It's a fake drama. It's sad, right? It's sad. I bet the person who wrote the script thought they were really clever. And they're just not. They're actually not clever at all. They're really, really not clever. There's holes everywhere. And they're just making stuff up as they go. This is not clever storytelling. It's just not. I'm sorry, it's just not. Exclamation! Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? No. Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph. There's no blood. Oh no, there is blood on top of the shoe. So, okay, look. One thing is, the body is in a different position. In the, earlier, the body was half hanging out of the back of the car, because that's where they drew the line around the corpse. And now the body is in a different position. There's something in the muffler, there's that, but I don't think that's what we're looking for here. I don't think there's anything wrong with the knife. I honestly don't know what the game wants me to say here. And I can't save, so... You can see in the reflection there are bloodstains on the top of the shoe. The knife is still in the body. The knife is still in the body. Where did the bloodstains come from? How did Lana cut herself if the knife is still in the body? So there's the muffler, there's the fact that the knife is still in the body, there's the fact that the body is in a different position from the crime scene. Let's go ahead and try. It's probably here, don't you think? Let me save again. So it's not the knife. The problem with this photograph, is it the position of the body? No, it's not the position of the body. Show the court the problem with this photograph. There's something in the muffler. The problem with the photograph is here. What's this? Why would the thing in the muffler make any difference? Why would the thing in the muffler make any difference? It's not relevant to this testimony. It's just, that's just there's something out. There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait, why would that matter? Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. So? However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. Jesus Christ. Ah, so what? A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Is this game translated from Japanese? Does the same wordplay work in Japanese? Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does it have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, exactly. It actually doesn't have anything to do with this case. Sorry, Mr. But it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. Nani? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case. Yeah, but this is 5:18. The crime took place 5:15. She wasn't even there to hear her say this. If her testimony is right, she spent 5 minutes running around, so she wouldn't have heard her say that. There's gaping holes. There's gaping holes in the story. Mr. Record your testimony for the court. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Also, is it when you arrested her, or when you heard her say it on the phone? Yag! Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. That doesn't change the fact that she stabbed him. and put him in the trunk. It doesn't change anything about the... that doesn't matter, Phoenix. It doesn't change the crime. Unbelievable. This is so stupid. It doesn't change the crime. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceeding. Why? No, we don't. Does it change? Does it change? It seems we have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend! I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. God damn it. Awful. Absolutely awful. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. This whole episode is a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed! ... I suppose so. Whew. That was close. So all the gaping holes you just ignore. And then the one thing that don't matter is the thing that's gonna take us to the next part of the story. Oh good. But we made it, at least for now. No, you didn't. You think you made it, but you didn't actually. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry. To be continued. Okay. Sure. Save. Why? Alright, I need a break here. I'm gonna take a break. Why would they do this? Look, the 5th episode is added to the game after the game was released. So the first release of the game is just 4 episodes. And then when they re-released the game for other platforms, they added on the 5th episode. So my question is, how is it that the 5th episode is so much worse than the first 4? How is it that this episode, which is done after, usually you would like make a game and then you take some time to reflect on what you've made, and then you would like figure out what you did right, what you did wrong, and then later in the DLCs or in the sequels you would like make a better game. Although I understand that a lot of sequels end up not being very good, and a lot of DLC doesn't end up being very good. But the point is, usually, logically, what happens is you go back and you look at what you've done, and once you have time to like think about it, you don't have any deadlines, so you have the time to like look at it and think about it and reflect on it and think about like, what do I want to do next time that would be better, and that's the stuff that you put in the next content that you make. So the last, like, this one should be better than the main game. It should be better than the main game, but it's not even close. Alright, see you next time when we continue the trial.